The 2020 election continues to cast a long shadow over American politics. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, numerous Republican candidates still dispute its legitimacy. These candidates, vying for positions at all levels of government, perpetuate the dangerous narrative of a stolen election. Their claims, often amplified by right-wing media, sow distrust in the democratic process and threaten the very foundations of American governance. As the 2024 election cycle heats up, the issue of election integrity takes center stage, raising profound questions about the future of American democracy. The persistence of election denialism is deeply concerning. It undermines public trust in the electoral system, fuels political polarization, and creates an environment ripe for violence and instability. The fact that so many candidates for public office openly question the legitimacy of the 2020 election is a testament to the enduring power of misinformation and the deep divisions within American society. Across the country, a number of high-profile Republicans running for governor, state elections chief, and U.S. Senate seats have made headlines for their refusal to accept the results of the 2020 presidential election. These individuals, many of whom have significant influence within their respective states, continue to cast doubt on the validity of Joe Biden's victory, often citing unsubstantiated claims of widespread voter fraud. In Arizona, Kari Lake, a former news anchor who narrowly lost her bid for governor in 2022, remains a vocal proponent of the Stop the Steal movement. Lake has repeatedly called for the decertification of Arizona's 2020 election results, despite multiple audits and court rulings confirming Biden's victory. Similarly, Doug Mastriano, a Pennsylvania state senator who lost his race for governor, built his campaign on the promise to overturn the 2020 election results in Pennsylvania. Mastriano, who attended the January 6th rally in Washington, D.C., has promoted conspiracy theories about widespread voter fraud and has called for the decertification of Pennsylvania's electoral votes. These are just a few examples of the many Republican candidates who continue to peddle baseless claims about the 2020 election. Their rhetoric, often inflammatory and divisive, has real-world consequences, fueling distrust in the democratic process and potentially inciting violence. The positions of governor, state elections chief, and U.S. senator hold immense power when it comes to shaping election laws and overseeing the electoral process. Governors, for example, have the authority to appoint or nominate individuals to key positions within their state's election apparatus, including secretaries of state and election board members. These appointees play a crucial role in setting election rules, overseeing voter registration, and certifying election results. Secretaries of state, often referred to as the chief election officers of their respective states, have direct oversight over the administration of elections. They are responsible for ensuring that elections are conducted fairly, accurately, and in accordance with state and federal law. Secretaries of state also play a critical role in certifying election results, a process that has come under intense scrutiny in recent years. U.S. senators, while not directly involved in the administration of elections, have the power to confirm or reject presidential appointments to federal agencies that oversee elections, such as the Department of Justice and the Election Assistance Commission. Senators also have a platform to speak out against election misinformation and to promote confidence in the electoral process. The fact that so many candidates for these positions hold views that are antithetical to free and fair elections is deeply concerning. It raises serious questions about their commitment to upholding democratic values and their willingness to accept the will of the voters, regardless of the outcome. The stakes of election denialism are high. When leaders refuse to accept the results of a fair election, it undermines the very foundation of our democracy. This isn't just about one election, it's about the trust that binds our society together. Without that trust, our democratic institutions weaken, and the rule of law becomes fragile. It's crucial to recognize the long-term consequences of such actions on our political landscape. The influence of a demagogue can be profound and far-reaching. A demagogue thrives on division and fear, manipulating public sentiment for personal gain. They often present themselves as the sole solution to complex problems, creating a sense of dependency among their followers. This type of leadership can erode democratic norms and concentrate power in dangerous ways. Understanding this influence is vital to preserving a healthy democracy. Safeguarding American democracy requires vigilance and active participation from all citizens. It's about more than just voting. It's about staying informed, holding leaders accountable, and standing up for the principles that define our nation. We must support institutions that promote transparency and fairness, and we must reject efforts to undermine them. By doing so, we can ensure that our democracy remains robust and resilient for future generations.